Good morning. Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I do. I hear you.
You can hear me?
I do. I can.
Okay, awesome. Okay, great. How are you today?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Siyabulela? Hamba siyabulela. Hambuye roomini. I mean, hambuye kutata lounge. Zokubetha siyabulela. Hamba. Okay, let's stand. Okay. Sorry about that.
What language do you speak?
We speak Xhosa, which is one of the national languages in South Africa, official languages, and English. So he speaks both.
That's cool. I wish I knew. I mean, I kind of speak Spanish, but I'm not super great at it.
Yeah, he thinks he can speak Spanish because they sometimes watch Dora.
Oh, that's cute. Well, he probably knows some Spanish.
Yeah.
I was just trying to get the assignment up here so we can look at it together.
Okay.
So we just have to turn in one between the two of us, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We just need to do an intake summary of the people that we meet.
Okay.
I don't know if it's only due next week.
Okay. But we have to do the introduction this week, right?
Oh, yes. We have to do the introduction this week. Sorry about that.
It's okay. So I was just looking at that.
So
It's kind of confusing because it's like we have to write it as if we've already done it, which we haven't. So it's sort of weird, but
yeah. Yeah, it's just confusing to write in past tense.
I was just trying to get onto it here. Okay, portfolio. I did find one couple who is interested in doing our project with us.
Oh, you said you found a couple?
Yeah, I found one. I talked to Sister Beale about the because we were supposed to find one couple, and then we were supposed to have we were supposed to recruit one couple, and then BYU Idaho is supposed to give us a couple. But on that link that she sent, there wasn't enough couples or enough people even for every person or for every group. And so I talked to Sister Beale about that, and I was like, so are they going to give us more? Because it said on that link that there would be more available. And she said that it's always sort of like you just never know who's going to sign up. Sometimes they have tons of participants, and sometimes they don't really get any. So she said that we just have to recruit 2 couples or 2 people, whatever we want to do. But I kind of think it would be more fun to do couples. I don't know about you, but that's sort of like where my interest lies. And so I think it would be more fun to do couples if possible.
Nice. I know for me personally, it would be really easy for me to find an individual.
Okay.
But really difficult to find a couple. Just because the people that I know or that I'm thinking that would be available have my type of situation where the husband's always traveling or whatever.
I see, yeah.
So they might readily have time available to have both of them be there as much as we need them to be.
Okay, well,
I can see what I can do.
Yeah, that would be fine. I just some of the ones that were on that option were like single people who weren't even married, and so I mean, obviously they have families, but I just kind of thought, well, I don't know how this is really going to be all that helpful to them, you know, or to us if they're just
Yeah.
single, like young students, you know, like I feel like it would be better to have, even if we had just an individual, someone who was married, who was looking for help with their immediate family, you know?
Someone who needs help with something or other, like somebody who can actually apply the things that we're going to be sharing with them.
Right, because I feel like as an individual, sure, they might have some issues that they want help with, but like it's not going to be, I feel like it's not really going to be like what we're wanting to do, you know? Because we're doing a family relations project, like it should have to do with family, you know?
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm just looking for that thing that oh, there we go, portfolio. So I was thinking with the introduction that if we do like a Google document or something,
Okay.
we could be able to work with that. And I was just checking the sample portfolio, and it looks like that thing was a couple of pages. That's the introduction.
Okay.
But I
So,
honestly exactly what we like the specific things that we need to write in there. I think that's the most difficult thing for me is I don't know what to write to fill up the number of pages that this thing requires.
right. Well, it's hard too because like it says, briefly describe the means through which you communicated and corresponded with participants. Like we haven't even responded. We haven't talked to any of them really yet. So it's like, I mean, I have been talking to this girl through like Facebook Messenger, but we haven't actually met with her and her husband yet. So it's like we haven't. But I guess we can always change out details, you know, because it's due at the end of the semester. So like as long as if we type it out and we say like we communicated with, you know, participants A and B via Facebook Messenger, email, and Skype, like we can always change that out to Facebook Messenger, email, and Google Hangouts. You know what I mean? Like we can always change the specific details, but to at least get it written out so that we can have it turned in and graded would be good.
Yeah, I agree with that. So basically, just we could do like a mock type of thing, and then obviously, if there's anything that we need to change in there, the bill will help us as well with figuring out how to, if we need to adjust anything. But I agree with that. Maybe, like for example, the question that says, "What did you do to develop a working relationship?" We can think of something that we want to do,
Right.
and then kind of use that as yeah. So I don't know what you want to do now. Do you just want to go through the questions and type answers for them, and then formulate graphs from there?
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Okay. I don't think I've ever created a Google document, but let me try. Have you done it before?
I have not. I'm on Word right now. I mean, I could just type it into Word and then I can try to change it into a Google Doc if you want. I can screen share too.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no problem. I'm also gonna try here.
So let's see. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, I can. Awesome. Yeah.
Okay,
I can.
cool. So I'm just gonna type underneath here because I don't know why it's like copied and pasted kind of oddly. It's like formatted for that document off of the thing for school, and it has this weird like shadowing in there. If I continue to type in there, the shadowing will stay. So I'll just type it down here. So briefly describe the practicum experience and family relations project. So let's see, the family relations project. Well, okay, so we could start out by saying like as students in the Marriage and Family Studies department, we participated in the practicum experience and chose to select the family relations project as our project. This project entails, you could say something like working with couples and individuals, helping them to set goals and developing workshops that are tailored specifically to their goals in mind or something along those lines.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, I think they also want us to include the fact that the process, so basically our job or our to recruit participants and then, like you said, like help those participants in that process.
Yes.
Yes. Could you please go to daddy and talk to him? Okay, I'm busy here. Okay, I'm sorry that okay. Sorry.
It's okay. As students at Brigham Young University, Idaho, we participated, let's see, what's the word? Not participated. We led, or I'm going to say we had the opportunity to participate in a practicum experience. This experience is an opportunity for students to learn skills they would need in their future professional careers as family life educators and therapists. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds good.
We chose the family relations project, which required us to work with couples and individuals to develop goals for their families. After getting acquainted with them and let's see, I don't know how to say this, acquainted with them, asking them.
It says here that we need to describe the means by which we communicated and corresponded with the participants. So maybe you can say after getting acquainted with them via email.
Yes.
We set up times to meet them.
I haven't looked at the what do you call it, the sample one yet, and so is it set up like bullet points or is it set up just like a straight up paper?
So in the thing in the sample portfolio, it's just one long paragraph pretty much. It's not bullet points, but it's kind of like the way that we did the intake summary. It's just paragraphs of what we want. But yeah, this introduction is about 12 lines. It's just like one long paragraph. So it's not bullet points, but just answering. But it also goes about in the format of answering the questions. So
okay,
like, yeah.
I'm just wondering, because the next question has on there about describing how we contacted them. So I was just, for this, I was just going to write about what exactly the family relations project is, so that just kind of gives a lead into it, and then maybe we can discuss how we maybe I can put here like a bold heading, introduction to the practicum and the family relations project. And then the next section we can go into, we'll have the heading participants, correspondence, and let's see, communication.
I see. I like that. Okay. Because, you know, they said that we need to have headings. So, yeah, that's good.
All right. We can like, I'll go through and edit this, but participants. So then we can make these like our headings to it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see. So all the bullet points, we can make all the bullet points our headings.
Yeah.
Or like some.
Yeah. So after getting, so let's finish here. So after getting acquainted with them, we established personal goals for their families and developed workshops that were tailored to meet their goals.
I think Sister Beale doesn't want us to use the word workshop when we're talking about the family relations one. So maybe we can
Okay.
Developed, I don't want to say tools.
Or we could even just say, and we met with them further to give them skills, or I don't know.
Yes, yes, I don't know. That, yeah.
We met with them on, I don't know. Well, I don't know. Let's see. After getting acquainted with them, we established personal goals for their family. We'll just right here. As students, we then developed, we could say different, we could say we developed programs that,
or tools and strategies.
Yeah.
To meet their goals.
Strategies for or to help them meet their goals.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say like presented, but because I feel like, I don't know about you, but looking through like the book, I think it would be really great to do something like more along the lines of like, I don't remember the exact name of the approach, but approach that isn't just us like lecturing them, but having like exercises that got them engaged and helped them to like practice some of the things that maybe we might be telling them about. Like if let's say that a couple comes to us and says, you know, I'm having issues. Well, like, so you read that John Gottman book, right? The one for the marriage class?
Yeah.
So, you know, in there they had those exercises on fondness and admiration where you would like make a list of 5 things that your spouse did for you that week, and you would tell them, you know, and there were specifics about things that they did that week and why you appreciated them for it or whatever. And so like, if let's say that a couple comes to us and says, you know, we're having issues with, you know, the romance being out of our marriage or whatever, you know, or just life getting in the way of having a happy marriage or something, we could say, okay, so here are some skills that you could use to help do that, and then let's practice that. Like, here are some exercises for you to do. You know what I mean? Like, I think it would be better to not just like lecture them, but have them engaged in practicing and applying some of the things that we're talking about.
Yeah, I like that. That's actually, I'm taking the family life coaching class And that's something that they really focus on, that the coaching needs to be focused on not trying to counsel the person, but just helping them feel like they have the skills within them. You know, you just point them in the right direction, and then they act on the tools that we give them.
Absolutely. So I think we should somehow word that in here. Sorry, my daughter needs me to help her turn the bathroom light on real quick.
Okay.
Here you go, Leighton. I meant to leave that on for her. At my mom's house, the bathroom light switch is like really high up on the wall and she can't reach it. Anyways, so I don't know if we should say that in the introduction. Like we should say, you know, we then develop tools and strategies to help them meet their goals. And then I guess we could say after developing these tools and strategies, we met with them on separate occasions to teach them some of these tools and strategies, and also have them apply them through various exercises.
Yes, yes.
After developing these tools and strategies, we met with them on other occasions to teach them of these tools. And this is like too much of these tools and strategies. Have to figure out how to take them out. These tools and strategies, and
to help them to apply them.
Yes, apply them by taking in various exercises. Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay, and I can go back and edit this, but we'll go on to the next part. Okay, so then briefly describe the means to which you communicated and corresponded with the participants. This part is sort of like, doesn't seem like it would be very lengthy. We initially corresponded with our participants through emails. How do you think you would get in contact with any of the people that you might be talking to about it?
I would probably use social media, so like Facebook, or text them. Yeah, I would either text them on their phones, or like send a message on Facebook.
So we initially corresponded with our participants through emails, text messages, and private messaging, or maybe private messages through social media.
Yeah.
After having, hang on a second, what, Leighton? Okay, sorry, my daughter went poo-poo, so she needs me to wipe her real quick. I'm sorry, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Oh, 3-year-olds. Okay. After they committed to the project, maybe?
Yes, yes.
We did our intake via Google Hangouts. We also did our follow up sessions through Google Hangouts. Sound good?
Yeah.
Did it say?
Yes, I like that.
Okay. What resources and materials were used in your teaching and how did you use them? Oh, that's the complicated one.
What resources and materials were used in your teaching and how did you use them? Yeah, what are the tools that we want to use maybe?
Resources, let's see, teaching resources and materials. Well, I mean, I feel like I'm hoping that we will have some type of maybe like handout for them. I mean, so let's go, if we went back to the John Gottman example, like if we were to assign something like that, I would think that we would give them some papers that they could print out, you know, or have that gave them that exercise, you know. So like handouts would be good. Possibly videos. Like, did you ever take? I'm sure you did. You probably took the Family 100 class, or no, it wasn't Family 100. It was Family 150. 150 maybe. It was the one where you watched a lot of videos from Brother Gardner, and it kind of taught us all about like it talks a lot about like the introduction to the classes and stuff. I'm trying to think if that was the class, but there was, oh no, it was, gosh, I can't even think of it now. It was the family relations class, and they talked about conflict management at one point, and there was a video that Brother Gardner had done where he talked about these different steps to, like how him and his wife had like disagreement on money or something, and he went through this whole steps of how, you know, they made an agreement to, like, say they said, you know, we're going to talk about this on Tuesday night after the kids go to bed or something like that. And then they like went through all these steps to resolve their issue, where they like wrote down exactly what problems they were having, and then they brainstormed to figure it out. And so I was thinking, you know, if we had some resources like that, maybe we might want to share potentially, but maybe not. But it could, you know, video resources could be something to consider.
Yeah, I remember that I actually participated in this program, but it was so early in my class, in my studies at BYU, that I didn't realize that it was students doing the practicum. But what they did is that I think they met with me twice, and it was like you filled in the form, and then they after you fill in the form, the first meeting you talk to them. I think it was like that intake summary type of thing. And then they also, after meeting with me the second time, they sent me an email with different links that I could go to that had different issues that I was struggling with. So they said, if you want to learn more about parenting, go to this link. If you want to learn more about being a better wife, I'm just, you know, just an example, go to this link. And so they had all these educational links that I could go to in future to help me with my specific situation. So I liked that. I thought that that was really nice. And I think the videos also are a very good idea, because it's like leaving them with something that they can use.
Yeah.
Even after we're done with them.
Good idea. So I'm just going to make a list here. So as possibilities, handouts and videos, links to educational / informational websites. What else could we use as teaching resources? I mean, I think giving the information through, or at least having maybe PowerPoints might be helpful in some of it, possibly, to help us with our presenting, you know? What else? I guess that's pretty good.
Yeah, I like the PowerPoint idea. Is great.
So through our teaching interactions, we used various mediums to teach, or I don't know, to run our meetings. One of the main resources we used was PowerPoint to help our meetings run smoothly and or let's see, to help our meetings, to help keep our meetings organized and to make the material more clear and memorable.
Yeah.
For the educational material, we gave our participants handouts. Handouts showed videos and always left them with helpful resources such as informational websites they could explore in the future.
Yeah, perfect. You're very good at like articulating what needs to be said. Like that's very good.
Thank you. Okay, so next section is how often did you meet with participants and for how long? Let's see, length of, I don't know. I don't know what to say here. Time spent with participants.
What's the time? How much time do we need to spend with them? Like, how many meetings are we supposed to have with them?
Well, I'm wondering about that because it looks like we need to do 4 hours. Well, we need to do the intake that's like 30 to 40 minutes long. And then it says that we're going to be doing 4 hours worth of workshops with them. And so is that like for each couple, or do we do this in a group setting? Like, would we have, you know, let's say we had 2 couples, would we have both couples at the same time, or is this going to be for each one?
Let me just check that quickly. I think we're supposed to meet for 4 times per couple, but for approximately 30 to 60 minutes.
So then I guess that is for each one. So that's long. I know this project, it seemed like it was so much more work, but it just seemed like more interesting to me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, me too. Like, I didn't want to do the workshop because I'm like on my own.
Right.
And I would have had to do it by myself. So I just like this because it's like practice for, we both want to be marriage and family therapists, and I feel like this is like kind of like putting like a toe in the door type of thing
Right.
to prepare for that. So yeah.
I think like if I had not just moved, I may have done the workshop one because of the time commitment for this one. But since I just moved, I really don't know many people. And I thought, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get people to come to this if I try to plan a workshop, and I also wasn't sure if they really wanted like all members of the church, because I was thinking like I would probably do it at the church building, and I'd probably only get members of the church because that's really all I know right now since we just moved here, and I don't really have a lot of relationships with people outside of the church other than my family, And so I don't know. I just don't know how I could even get that together. But
it would have been hard.
And this did intrigue me for sure.
If you didn't know.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just decided to do this, but it did, like, this project seemed the most interesting to me initially, but then I thought, oh, it's like so much more time, but I think it'll be worth it. It's always anything that, is worth doing is always worth it. So
that's true.
Okay.
That is true.
So for each of our participants, we conducted a 30 to 40-minute intake interview. We let's see, got to know them through this intake interview, and I don't know, let's see. Through the intake interview, we learned about their history. Let's see. Within their family of origin and in their immediate family. And created, let's see. Okay, so let's see. Through the intake interview, we learned about their history within their family of origin and in their immediate family. Learned about some of their challenges. Let's see, some of the challenges they were, it's like so hard to write in past tense, were facing in their current family situations, and established some learning goals for each of them. After we did our intake, we met with them for approximately 4 hours. Okay. Someone was calling me, sorry. After we did our intake, we met with them for approximately 4 hours on separate occasions for the learning experiences.
Yeah, I think we do need to mention that it was like we did 4 sessions of 30 to 60 minutes each.
Okay. After we did our intake, we met with them for separate occasions for approximately 30 to 60 minutes, or how many minutes was it?
60 minutes.
Approximately 60 minutes. Okay, so after we did our intake, we met with them on 4 separate occasions for approximately 60 minutes for each session for the learning experiences. Okay. And then the next bullet is describe the general format for teaching learning. Okay.
Are we able to like mix paragraphs? Like, would we be able to go back to where we wrote about like the PowerPoints and things and put some of the information for this there, or do we have to do like a separate answer for this one?
I don't know, but on this one, I feel like we could even maybe use some of this information from the book on the learning approaches. Like we could say,
Yes, okay.
Let's see if I can go back and find where that was. I'm looking through the book right now. Was it in chapter 1? Yes, it was. So, like the interventionalist or the interventionist approach, I like where it says they are change agents. They seek cognitive, attitudinal, behavioral change, even transformation of participants through education. Family life educators working from this perspective with couples might teach and demonstrate 5 steps to handling conflict and then have couples practice the skills with the aid of a personal coach who provides both reinforcement and corrective feedback. So I like that. And I mean, we could even say we used an eclectic approach where we use elements from different approaches, and we could say such as the interventionist approach, and like the expert approach is sort of like where you just, you know, give information, you're just lecturing basically. And I mean, we wouldn't want to do all of that, but we definitely would have some elements of that probably where we would be giving them information, you know. And then the facilitator approach I liked too, which is where like we're not necessarily, like it says we're co-equals. So like we don't hold all the information, especially as students, like we don't hold all the information, you know, like yes, we do have a lot of information because we've been in school, but they also have experience that is valuable. And so like, I like that approach too, because we're just facilitators, you know, like, and they have a lot of information, they have a lot of experience, and they're experts in their own right, you know. So we could talk about that, like the different approaches that we'd want to take, and we could just talk about how, you know, we presented information and then we worked through various exercises. I could see us giving homework also. I don't know about you, but especially since we're going to be meeting on 4 separate occasions, like at the end of, you know, at least the first few, we could say, you know, and then we'd love for you to do this exercise during this week, and next week when we meet back together, we can talk about how that went and like, you know, if you feel like you gained anything from the experience or something.
Sorry, I'm struggling to hear you a little, but I think my internet is having a problem.
Oh no.
Okay,
Did you?
Okay. Suddenly I can hear you properly. I don't know why that always happens. Okay.
Oh, it's okay. So where did I cut out? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Okay, so you were talking about the different approaches and how we can be able to use those approaches. And then you also talked about obviously the approaches that are in the book, so like the facilitator, the intervention approach, the expert approach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, around about that part.
Okay, so then I was saying, and then so, you know, like kind of how I envision it, and tell me if you think of it differently, but I envision, you know, once we sort of develop these like workshops, we will give information, and then I thought it would be good to have some sort of, and not just give you information, but talking while we give information, having discussion about it, and then having exercises that they could do, and we could kind of go through the exercises with them and talk about them and see how they felt about it and give them some feedback on it. And then I also think it might be good if we were to give them some sort of homework assignment at the end of it, like something they could work on throughout the week and then kind of report back on how it went, you know?
Yeah, and it kind of gives them something to work towards to prepare for the next meeting that we have with them.
Yeah, exactly. So we could say for our teaching, teaching and learning, we chose to use a few different approaches. We use the interventionist approach, which is where the family life educator gives information and the participants then practice applying the information through exercises. After the exercises were complete, I need to do this in past tense. We use the intervention approach, or I could make it more personal here, where we, as the family life educators, gave, or we could say presented the information, or we could say the learning material, maybe. The learning material, and the participants then practiced applying the information through exercises. After the exercises were complete, we went over them and discussed with the participants how they felt it went and how it could have possibly been more effective. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that's good.
We also utilized the facilitator approach by treating our participants as co-equals in the learning process. Their experience is valid, and we wanted them to feel actively engaged in discussions about the learning material. We did this by asking them questions, you think? And their opinions on things. We wanted them to think. There was like the critical inquirer approach, but it's kind of similar where, you ask a lot of questions and kind of help them to like develop their own answers to things.
Yeah.
But I'll just say this, we wanted them to be active learners.
I think these two are good, because what I saw is I think the eclectic approach uses like all the different approaches.
Mm-hmm.
So as we add more to that, I think we'll be moving more towards mostly the eclectic one, because it includes the different, it kind of includes a little bit of everything.
We chose to use an eclectic approach to which where we incorporated ideas from multiple approaches to teaching. The two approaches we incorporated most were the interventionist approach and the facilitator approach. That's like terrible spelling. Sorry. Okay, so for our teaching and learning, we chose to use, format here. For our teaching and learning format, we chose to use an eclectic approach where we incorporated ideas from multiple approaches to teaching, or for teaching, I'll say. The two approaches we incorporated most were the intervention, this is not spelled right, intervention. Right, okay, the interventionist approach and the facilitator approach. We'll use the interventionist approach by, I guess you could say, I'll say by using interventionist approach. By using the interventionist approach, we as family life educators presented the learning material and the participants then practiced applying the information through exercises. After the exercises were complete, we went over them and discussed with the participants how they felt it went and how it could have possibly been more effective. We utilized a facilitator approach by treating our participants as co-equals in the learning processes and the learning process. Their experience is valid, or was their experience, their prior experience was valid, and we wanted them to feel actively engaged in discussions about the learning material. We did this by asking them questions and getting their opinions on things. We wanted them to be active learners. How's that?
I like that. Sounds good.
Okay. Then the next one.
What did you do to develop a working relationship with participants?
Okay.
I feel
developing
the questions like kind of bleed into each other. Like the one that says the next question after the working relationship is, what did you do to encourage participation among participants? And I feel like we already said that in the paragraph that we just typed in the teaching and learning format, where we said that we inviting them to be active learners through asking questions and things like that. So I don't know if it's necessary for us to answer it again,
right.
If they wanted to answer it in a way, you know.
I think what we can say, maybe we could combine these two questions, the what did you do to develop a working relationship with participants, and what did you do to encourage participation among participants? I think we can combine that, and we could say, you know, through our interactions with them, we were always respectful and we encouraged them to participate. We didn't want to put them down. We didn't ever want to make them feel like their ideas weren't valid ideas. We talked through some of the scenarios with them, and we always were friendly. I mean, I think we want to make sure that they feel like they are capable of doing this, and so we want to make sure that they have the confidence to do it, So developing a working relationship with participants and encouraging participation.
Yeah, and I like how you said that we were respectful and we encouraged them to participate.
So from our initial conversations with our participants, we were always friendly and professional. We remained respectful of each of them and their ideas, and
you mentioned that we encouraged them to participate.
Yes, encouraged them to actively participate in the learning process and wanted them to feel as though I already kind of said this, but maybe I didn't actually. Let's see. I want like co-equals in the learning process. I did. So I have to figure out how to do this.
So how specifically we encourage them? I suppose it would be the way, the questions that we asked them, and then the activities that we gave them during and after the class, during and after the meeting.
Engage them to actively participate in learning process. Let's see. By asking questions during our sessions and validating their input. We also engage them through the activities during our sessions and through the homework assignments we gave at the end of each session. When we reconvened for the following session, we would always ask how the homework assignment went for the week and wanted to know their feedback on the experience. Again,
yeah.
From our initial conversations with the participants, it's right here. We were always friendly and professional. We remained respectful of each of them and their ideas and input. We encouraged them to actively participate in the learning process by asking questions during our sessions and validating their input. We also engage them through the activities during our sessions and through the homework assignments we gave at the end of each session. When we reconvene for the following session, we would always ask how the homework assignments went for the week and wanted to know their feedback on the experience. We were always sure to, what's the word I'm looking for? Acknowledge their feelings and thoughts throughout the experience as well. Okay. Again, this is so weird to do this because we like, it's like hypothetically. Okay.
Yeah, kind of. We hope that that's what's going to happen, but yeah, it's weird. It's like planning for, like writing a journal entry for tomorrow.
Right. I mean, I guess it's kind of good because it's sort of giving us like a game plan in a way.
Yeah. Like, yeah. Because now we have a plan on how we're going to approach the meeting. So I think it's a really, really good idea.
Coordinating teaching and, let's see, coordinating teaching experiences, I guess. So how do you see that going? Do we want to take turns being the lead on different workshops?
Yeah, I think it would be nice. Like every other one, like we can like take the lead on every other one. So which means that we'll lead two each per participant.
Right. So we'll say Ayanda, or we took turns in, I guess in the intake assessment, we could, or in the intake, we could maybe take turns asking questions. And then in the, or we could do it differently. We could take turns asking questions, or each of us could take turns being the lead for that intake.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
What would you rather do for the intake?
You take the lead on another intake, and then we go. We take the lead on every other lesson for the 4 lessons each.
Okay, so for the intake, we took turns being the lead intake. I don't know what you want to say. Intake. I don't know how to say this. Intake. It's not coordinator, but I don't know. Question asker. What's a good word for that? Facilitator. Yeah. For the intake, we took turns being the lead intake facilitator, or the lead facilitator, maybe say. Or I guess maybe conducting also, sort of thing. We took turns being the lead for conducting the interviews. Ayanda was the lead for one of the intakes, and Chantel was the lead for the other. For however, both we were both present and were able to ask follow-up questions throughout the interview. I would say that whoever is not leading should probably be the one taking notes. Yeah, you think?
Sorry, what did you say? Whoever's not leading
Should probably be taking notes.
Absolutely, yeah, I agree with that. Like the person who's not leading needs to be writing down everything so that we don't have to start over after the meeting.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so the student who was not leading that, or actually I'll just write this at the end. So then for the teaching interactions, we took turns being the lead facilitator for that meeting. For whoever was not the lead facilitator for the meeting or interview took notes and recorded responses to be viewed following the meeting. Sound good?
Sounds
good. I should say for in here, probably after this, for the teaching interactions, we took turns being lead facilitator for the meeting. I should probably also add that, as similarly to the intake, whoever was not leading was always able to interact and to ask questions and participate as well. Similarly to the intake process, the student not leading was always able to and engage in the experience, acting as a support to the lead facilitator. Does that sound good?
Yes, I like that. Yeah, perfect.
Okay. I guess I should. The student not leading meaning. Sorry, I just wanted to change this. In your interview, also took notes and record responses to reviewed following meeting. Okay.
Okay, so just the last sentence, the student not leading the meeting for the meeting. Are we able to say the student not leading the meeting or session? Okay, no, it's fine. You fixed it. The student not leading the meeting or interview also took notes. Okay, that's fine. You don't have to fix it. There was like the student not leading the meeting or the meeting. So you've already
that
and fixed it.
Okay.
Okay. That's fine. It looks good.
Okay, good.
And we've answered all the questions that were here.
Yep, we did. I'm just going to delete these.
So when just a deal tomorrow, I actually don't know what we're supposed to talk about with her, but I'm assuming that she's going to ask about people that we want to recruit, and of course we've already done this. But so we've found one couple so far. What happened to the other? Who was the person that emailed us that's in our class that wanted us to swap with her?
I haven't responded yet. I just wondered if you wanted to try to get another couple. Like I was trying to work on getting another couple. There's somebody who is in my ward who just got married, and I don't know them at all, but they just got married and they announced it on Sunday, and they are, I don't know, they've been in the ward for a little bit, but like I said, we just moved into the ward, so we don't really know many people, and we're not going to be in this ward for very long, so I don't anticipating really getting to know them, so I don't think it would be an issue that we're in the same ward. But I reached out to them in hopes that maybe they'd want to participate, but I haven't heard back from them yet. And then there's another couple that I know, kind of know, they're acquaintances, I guess you could say. They used to be in my ward, but I don't really know them well at all. They just had a baby. They're a young married couple, and so I thought maybe they might be interested. And I reached out to them, and she was going to talk to her husband and see if he would want to participate, but she hasn't gotten back to me about it yet. I messaged her this morning again and asked if she would want to, if she had talked to her husband yet, but she hadn't got a chance to talk to him, so.
Okay. That's fine. So you have at least 2 other couples in your ward that you might work with. I'll see if I can be able to find someone on my side. Like I said, I think the struggle is finding both people at a time that's convenient for them, but I'll definitely try on my side and see what I can do.
Okay. Yeah, so between the two of us, I think we should be able to find somebody, and if we can't, there's always that other option of the name that, you know, one of our classmates sent to us. So if we need to use that one, we can use that one.
But sorry for interrupting you.
That's okay.
I can definitely find an individual. Finding a couple is a little bit more difficult. But I mean, I can try. I'm not gonna not try, because I also want us to work with couples. I think that it would be very beneficial for them to this experience would be beneficial for couples.
Right. I think it would be good for us too, and I think it would give us more material to work with. I think it would make for more interesting meetings. I mean, I just think it would be easier to come up with 4 hours worth of material to share with somebody, you know, if it's like with a couple. And I think like if we just have one individual, we can't really do exercises with them that much, you know, because there's not another participant. So it'd be good to have couples, but if we can't get couples, then we can't get couples. So hopefully we can, though.
Yeah.
I actually just thought of someone else who I could possibly use too. I should reach out to.
I just want to ask quickly, are we allowed to use couples? Because I know I keep referring to the other class that I'm taking, the coaching class that I'm taking. They said that we're only allowed to talk to one person at a time. So in this class, have they specified if it's okay to speak to deal with or to talk to more than one person?
Yeah, that's actually like what drew me to it. So I actually talked to the teacher yesterday. I can read you the email she sent me. I said, hi, Sister Beal. I saw that we are to complete our intake this week for the portfolio. Is this for the participants from BYU or for all participants? This was before I knew that we weren't doing the intake. And I said, I'm a little confused about this. I thought we were going to be working with couples, but then on the participants list, as I was reviewing the profiles, the ones left were single people. How does this work? Also, there are not any profiles left to claim on the list you sent out. It said there would be more added, but there's still not any new names that have been added. I'm a little stressed out about this whole thing. Sorry for the questions. And then she responded back, and she said, the family relations option stresses me out too. Sometimes we have lots of participants, sometimes we have a few. If there are no other participants listed, you will be responsible for finding both sets of participants for your project. Participants can be individuals or couples and cannot be close friends or relatives.
Okay, awesome. I like it. I'm glad that that's clarified because I'm excited. I'm excited to work with couples.
Yeah, me too. That's like what I really was like most excited about this whole process, was like getting to work with couples, because that's like what I really want to do. So it'd be fun to practice that.
Yeah. Okay. So it looks like we're done now. So we'll be meeting tomorrow. Did we say 10 with Sister Bill?
I don't remember. Let me look what we decided, or the meeting times here. I have that actually pulled up. We signed up for 10 o'clock. Yep, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Is it going to change soon? Because sometimes that throws me off.
Oh, the time change?
Yeah.
It is in October or November. I'm not sure when, but I don't think it doesn't affect me, so I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Do you guys do a time change?
Every year we don't. But when Mountain Standard Time turns to Mountain Daily Time or something like that, it moves an hour earlier. So sometimes I'm like an hour late for things because the time zone changed.
So in Arizona we don't change times either. In California we did change times, but in Arizona I don't. So I'm not sure. Like right now we're on the same, or no, we're on an hour different with Idaho time, and then
okay, and that's
I'm not sure how it's gonna work. I'll have to figure it out. All I know is I Google, like, this time to Idaho time, and it tells me what it is. So that's
yeah, that's what I usually do as well.
I'm gonna have to pay attention to that now too, because yeah, when I lived in California, we changed times just like Idaho did, but now I'm in Arizona and we don't change times. So it's like one of two states, I think, in the United States that doesn't do the time zone change, or the turning the clock or whatever.
Yeah, it's crazy. But anyway, thank you very much for meeting with me and filling in all of this information. So I guess we'll meet tomorrow with Sister Beal, and if there's anything else, you can email me then.
Okay, and I'll try to figure out. I think I might actually know how to do the Google Docs thing, because I sent you a Google Doc, right?
Sorry?
When I think I might know how to put this into Google Docs, because I sent you a Google Doc, right? When I sent you my intake assessment practice thing.
I think your intake was if I'm not mistaken, it was a Word document.
Did I think I sent you two links.
I read it. Let me see. Usually, when somebody does the Google Doc, they invite you to edit it. So if you're able to figure out how to invite me to edit, because I was trying to do it as we were talking, and I can start my own, but I don't know. I can't how to invite somebody else to edit the document.
Huh. Well, I'll try to figure it out.
Okay. I'll also try and figure it out on my side, and then we can just copy and paste it.
Okay.
Then, yeah. So that if there's anything that.
And then we need to send it. Yeah, and then we need to send it to our consultants too, and have them review it before we turn it in.
Okay. We have consultants?
We do. It's like Ashlyn Jorgensen and Jill something. It's the people that we've been talking to about meeting up with tomorrow at 11. I think we have an appointment to meet with them.
Yes. Oh, okay. The learning interaction people.
Yes. Those are our consultants.
Oh, cool. Okay. we consult them, they consult us.
Right, and we're supposed to send a copy of all our stuff to them to be reviewed, and they're supposed to send stuff to us to be reviewed. So.
Okay, cool. Before we send it to Sister Phil. Okay. So
right.
I think it is pretty much done. I'm gonna put my kids in bed, and then I'll come back and like try and see if I can figure out how to do the Google Doc and how to share it.
Okay, sounds good. All right, well, I'll see you tomorrow and probably talk to you later.
Okay, see you tomorrow. Enjoy your day.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.